In today's video, we're going to be talking about precious metals and the stock market and how they're being affected by everything going on in Afghanistan right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about silver and also gold and also the stock market, but we also have to go over this big wave of fear that's headed in our direction and how it's affecting all of the markets right now. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. And if you want to get some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. But today is Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. The current spot price of silver as I'm recording the video is $23.63. Another red day for silver, down another 20 cents. Spot price of gold is $1,781.90. Another red day for gold as well, down $5. And of course, the gold to silver ratio is in the 74 to 75 to 1 range. Both precious metals are on the decline. They're heading in a downward direction based on what's been going on over these last couple of weeks. Now, there's a whole variety of different reasons that the precious metals move up, the precious metals move down, the stock market moves up, the stock market moves down. So many different factors play a role, but I thought it was pretty interesting to talk about Afghanistan today. For those of you who do not know, let me just give you a quick little overview of what's going on. And by the way, I'm not talking about the news for any particular reason. The reason I talk about all of this is because it's going to lead into how the precious metals and how the stock market is reacting to everything going on. So for those of you who do not know, I don't know how you don't know, but Afghanistan has fallen. It's been a long time plan to pull our troops out of Afghanistan for years, and recently the US withdrawal has gone into effect. Following this, the Taliban has been able to take over Afghanistan within essentially a week, causing the now former president of Afghanistan to resign and flee, and border crossings were closed as the Taliban is executing people at their homes. All of this has led to the people of Afghanistan storming airports by the thousands, many of which have attempted to climb and hold on to the outside of airplanes during takeoff out of desperation, which ultimately led to people falling to their death. Our response to the disaster going on right now was to send 3,000 troops back to Afghanistan last week, and it's expected that another 6,000 will soon be sent to help. The U.S. plans to evacuate 5,000 people per day, both Americans and Afghans, for as long as they can maintain control at the airports. Supposedly, 88,000 people are already eligible for special visas for working with U.S. forces, but the U.S. is now preparing to house 30,000 applicants seeking refuge that don't have their paperwork done or vetted, which President 46 said could not happen last month on July 8th, and he also said the Taliban was not a threat and that the Afghanistan government was in good standing.
Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not.
Your own intelligence community has assessed that the Afghan government will likely collapse.
That is not true.
Now, that's just a very simplified version of what's going on in Afghanistan right now. Just to get you up to speed in case you missed out on anything. I know I'm not telling the entire story. We don't have time for all of that. But those are some of the key details. And I usually like to not include my opinion when talking about the news, because at the end of the day, our opinions don't matter when we're supposed to be looking at the facts. But I can't help myself. I just have to ask, what in the world were we doing over there for 20 years if as soon as we leave, everything completely falls apart? Do you have any idea how many American service members died over there? Not to mention, we've spent over $300 million a day every day, every week, every month, every year for 2 decades. what was accomplished if everything can fall apart as soon as we go away? But on a financial note, I think we all know what world news and international conflict and geopolitical uncertainty leads to. Fear. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I posted just yesterday, everything going on in Afghanistan has corporations and investors on the edge of their seats right now. World news like this creates fear, and fear creates market downtrends. This may partially explain the status of the stock market today. I said that yesterday. Now, to reiterate, everything going on in the world, whether it be uncertainty or whether it be a financial disaster or whether it be war or whether it be an election or whether it be anything, it all leads to uncertainty in the markets, and this is something that happens all of the time. The markets are incredibly quick to react to uncertainty and fear, and we've been seeing over the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, silver and gold have both been on a little bit of a decline. And I remember a couple of months ago, it was said that the support level for gold, I think they said it was 1840. I think they said it wasn't going to go any lower than that, and here we are in the 1700s. Silver's down a little bit. I didn't expect it to go under $25, and a week and a half ago it went under 25. It went to the $24 range. And for the last week, we've been in the $23 range, or maybe not the last week, but the last 4 or 5 days or so, we've been in the $23 range. So both precious metals are lower than they were expected to go. And by the way, the stock market is down as well. The S&P 500 is down. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down. The NASDAQ is... Everything's down. Not everything. A lot of individual stocks are in the red. It's not a complete and total bloodbath, but we're definitely on a little bit of a decline. And I think it's important to take world news into consideration. I think it's important to pay attention to what's going on in this country as well as what's going on in that country, as well as what's going on over there and over here. I think we need to be looking up, down, left, right. We need to be paying attention. We need to keep our head on a swivel. And the reason I say this is because if you pay attention to everything going on, if you try to stay as informed as possible while also simultaneously staying as logical and rational as possible. I just realized my microphone isn't plugged in. Sorry if the audio wasn't so good for the first part of this video, but it's important to take a look at everything. It's important to stay informed. It's important to keep your eye on all of the markets, including the markets that you're not involved in. Real estate, the stock market, precious metals, how certain businesses are doing, how certain businesses are failing. It's important to pay attention to these things because if you do, I personally believe and experienced that by simply paying attention to everything, studying all the markets, including the ones you're not affiliated with or have no involvement in, can be very, very, very rewarding. You can be one step ahead of the game. You could be multiple steps ahead of the game. You could be 1,000 steps ahead of the game if you just pay attention. So it's important to take a look at what's going on right now and take a step back and really evaluate how international conflict and all of this world news and how this is happening, that's happening, how it can affect the financial markets. It's really important to remember. Now, of course, everything going on over there is incredibly sad, very, very unfortunate, and I hope everything is going to be okay. But we need to look at it from a logical, rational perspective, especially if we're going to be talking about what the entire focal point of this channel is talking about, silver and gold. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised with all of the fear and the uncertainty and everything going on right now. I'm actually a little bit surprised that more people aren't gravitating towards the silver and gold, especially the gold, especially considering everything else going on in the world right now. We're seeing more mandates come back. We're seeing more countries locked back down. I'm actually surprised that more people aren't liquidating and putting their cash into money, putting their currency into gold and silver, but mostly gold. Usually if we're talking about the big dogs, if we're going to be talking about the top 10%ers, the top 5%ers, the top 1%ers, gold is pretty much the go-to metal for stability. Gold is the much more stable metal between the two. Of course, silver is typically looked at as the opportunity metal. That's how I see it. I think silver has far more room to grow and perform over time. I mean, think about it. Silver is only halfway to its all-time high. It's technically less than halfway to its all-time high. It's at $23 and change right now. Its all-time high went over $50. So we can go from 23 back to 50, which means the spot price would have to do more than double, which it's already done. Gold, on the other hand, is only a couple $100s away from its all-time high. For gold to double in value, it would have to go to almost $4,000, which it has never done before. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that silver would have a much easier time doubling in currency value than gold would. Silver, much more sporadic, much more volatile. Silver's up, silver's down. Silver has massive leaps, and it also has massive pullbacks. Gold, on the other hand, like I said before, of course, there are leaps, of course there are pullbacks, but generally speaking, gold is just simply more stable, and that's something that people are looking for during times of economic instability. During times of economic instability, why would you not want financial stability in your life? So a lot of people liquidate and they inject their capital into gold. And I'm sure they do silver as well, but gold is just the preferred metal when it comes to the top dogs. That's all I'm saying. When it comes to me, when it comes to the little guy, I think many of us, I think I can speak for most of us, and I know everybody has a different opinion, so please head on down to the comments and feel free to weigh in. I would say that a majority of us probably prefer silver. One, like I said before, it has more room to grow and perform over time, but it's also just easier to get your hands on. I mean, we can get our hands on silver far easier than we can get our hands on gold. I mean, right now with the gold to silver ratio being about 75 to 1, that means for the same amount of currency, we can get about 75 ounces of silver or 1 ounce of gold. Now, you can weigh out the pros and the cons and figure out for yourself which one is better. Should you have a nice pile of silver, or should you have just one little gold coin if they're worth the same amount when it comes to currency, when it comes to spot price, when it comes to fiat, when it comes to glorified debt note IOU dollar bills? Spot price, one could argue, is completely irrelevant because spot price is measured in US dollars, and US dollars, that's just a man-made invention. But right now, with the ratio being where it's at, you got to decide for yourself which of the two metals makes the most sense right now. And as I said in yesterday's video, where I was heavily focusing on the gold to silver ratio, talking about how a lot of people try to play the ratio. When the ratio is far apart, people take their gold and they get as much silver as they can with it. And then when the ratio tightens up, they take that silver and then they get more gold than they started with. And this is something that a lot of people do. They try to play the gold to silver ratio. Now, I don't think this is a bad idea in any way, shape, or form. It's just a little bit too much for me. It's a little bit too much of a hassle. If I go up, if I take a step in an upward direction, if I'm moving forward, the last thing I want to do is move back, even if it leads to getting more silver for my gold. If I trade my silver for gold, I would really, really, really rather not trade my gold for more silver. Even if I can get more silver than I started with in the first place, it's just a little bit too back and forth, wishy-washy for me. But this is what my focus is on at the moment. Now that silver is continuing on its decline, and by the way, so is gold, my plan is to pick up a little bit of both metals. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I hope as the week goes by, we continue to see even more of a downtrend. And to be honest with you, that's probably what I'm expecting. I don't make predictions over here on this channel because I can't see the future. I don't want to be that guy to be like, oh, this is going to happen by this date and it's guaranteed because I'm a false prophet. No, I'm not one of those guys. Those guys just spew BS. They don't know what they're talking about. And in my opinion, they should be ignored. But with everything going on right now, and the fact that it's probably not going to be settling down for quite some time, I'm just going to go ahead and make the assumption that the big wave of fear is going to continue to build. Keep in mind, it's not just Afghanistan that we're worrying about right now. There's a lot of stuff going on all over the place. Right here in the US, there's stuff going on in Canada, there's stuff going on in Mexico, there's stuff going on in Afghanistan, there's stuff going on in China, Russia, everywhere. There's a lot going on right now We need to stay rational. We need to stay logical. We need to keep our head on a swivel. We need to pay attention to everything going on. Number one, so we're informed, so we're aware of what to do, what not to do, what move to make, what moves not to make, but also it can keep us so many steps ahead of the game. Being well informed could potentially be the most profitable thing you ever do in your life. So it's important to pay attention. Pay attention to the markets that you don't normally pay attention to. If you don't own any real estate and you don't have any plan to own any real estate, pay attention to the real estate market. Not because you're going to buy, but because you got to stay informed. If you don't believe in the stock market, if you have a grand total of $0 in the stock market, pay attention to the stock market. And by the way, if you're all in on stocks and real estate and business and you couldn't care less about the silver and the gold, pay attention to the silver and the gold. It's important to do. You need to pay attention to everything going on in the world of money. You have to take everything into consideration. You have to pay attention. You have to stay informed. And that's what I try to do over here. That's why I pay attention to world news, and I try to maybe sometimes connect dots that shouldn't be connected. I try to pay attention to everything going on when it comes to world news, geopolitical news, international conflict, because I know for an absolute fact it's going to play a role in the financial markets. So head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Let's try to keep our opinions out of it when it comes to what the government should and shouldn't do. We know it's common sense. Common sense is not a part of the government. We get it. We know. Let's focus on the facts. Let's focus on the money. Let's focus on doing the right thing and stacking the silver, stacking the gold, investing potentially, and moving in the right direction. Let's be constructive. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic and what your plans are this week for when it comes to stacking the precious metals. And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my own terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams. They're smaller and easier to manage. I'm posting exclusive VIP-only adventure vlogs. I also do giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shoutouts, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. And of course, you can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to hit that subscribe button like a Karen hits a bus window. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. A bunch of brand new videos over there. Go check them out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 3,000 subscribers. We just hit 2,000, and I appreciate that. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies, which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products. T-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations, such as the recently released Kraken Stackin' t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug, inspired by the beautiful 2-ounce silver Kraken coin, which by the way is helping us raise a little bit of funds and awareness for ocean cleanup charity organizations at no additional cost to you. It comes out of my pocket, not yours. And of course, last but not least, the brand new DYDSS Karen Free Zone t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug.
My name is not Karen.
Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, what are your thoughts on everything going on in the world right now? with everything taking place in Afghanistan and how the country has fallen and the Taliban is taking over and people are getting executed, people are trying to flee, the president resigned, people are hanging onto airplanes and falling to their death because they're trying to escape. How do you think all of this craziness, all of this chaos, all of this disaster is going to play a role in the stock market? Do you think we're going to continue seeing a downtrend over there? How do you think it's going to impact the spot price of silver and gold? In the short term, by the way. I'm not talking about for the long term. I'm talking about this week, this month. What do you think it's going to do to the spot price of silver and gold? Do you think it's going to be a little bit of a downtrend and pretty soon it's just going to pop? Do you think we're going to continue to see both precious metals on the decline over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks? How do you think everything going on right now is going to impact the precious metals? Think it's going to have a short-term negative effect, or do you think it's going to have a short-term positive effect? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.